Oh man, I had to kind of record my reaction to this. A tasting menu of female representation. Oh, look, there's the Bachdel test. Two or more women talking to each other about something other than a man. Okay, and there's some responses to this, like a kind of like Patrick Lay Presents put in a thread of like reverse these things to see how many female-centered stories hold up, which is true. This whole thing is a targeted hit on most of the female-centric genre of romantic comedies. Two or more men talk about something other than the female protagonist and what kind of woman they think they like or think related to women and sex. Oh man, this could describe the Anita Blake books, especially in the current incarnation. The Mako Mori. At least one female character with her own narrative arc that is not about supporting a man's story. It's like most character arcs, especially even with Uplift Protocol, I got the men and women supporting each other. They're part of each other's arcs, especially if they're in a marriage or a relationship. Their arcs are going to combine and run through each other. Now they might have a few snippets of separate arcs not pertaining to their status, or relationship, but in general, most character arcs are going to require some form of teamwork, especially depending on the wheelhouse you're writing for. And of course, the backup to this, the reverse Makomori. At least one male character in a female-centered story must have his own narrative arc that is not supporting the female characters. Bonus points if his arc isn't romantic and he's not a total buffoon, misogynist, or strawman. Yes, because a lot of female-centric books do paint the men as buffoons, or like, you're not strong enough, women, to do what we can do. Like, look at Captain Man-Pants for that. Yeah, it's just like, it's like, really, you're gonna just have her whole arc and be like, I'm gonna destroy the patriarchy, brr. But yeah, this whole thing is pretty fun. The whole sexy lamp thing. Female character that cannot be removed from the... Yeah, what is it? Oh yeah, female character that cannot be removed from the plot and replaced with a sexy lamp without destroying the story. What? So you think most of the characters are there as, like, just plain window dressing? Well, maybe in most woke stuff, yeah. They're just there to be a billboard for whatever the writer's current year politic platform is. Which is why, again, everybody, I hardly give modern stuff the time of day. I already know what's going to happen to it. And it's not my cup of tea. I'm not interested. And it's just like, guys, just go back to the old stuff. Go back to whatever the original format was and read or view that instead. I guess that could be straightforward enough. Because modern Hollywood can only, at best, recycle. I mean, you saw that with the Force Awakens stuff. It was basically recycling A New Hope, just with a different mix and match of characters, and they didn't even pull off those archetypes very well. Because, again, they put out that story, but they didn't actually have anything to build off of. It's like each of those stories were put in a vacuum with each director doing their own thing. So, sometimes it's better to at least pre-plot some of the stuff that might happen, so that way it ties itself together better. Again, just my opinion and what my limited writing experience has, informed me of. It might be a good idea to be a mix of pre-plot and off the cuff when it comes to some side missions. Yeah. And then there's this one, the antifreeze. No woman assaulted, injured, or killed to further the story of another character. Regardless of what's going to happen, in some cases, for some character archetypes, yeah, you will have a background where they're dead. More often than not, especially in most modern stuff, either both parents are dead, or usually the dad ends up dead, or the dad is absentee dad. He might still physically be there some way, but, mentally he's checked out, gone, not part of the situation. I would say a lot of stuff to generate some sort of character arc. Sometimes, yeah, people will go that route. They'll go the orphan route. They'll go, this person was adopted, and maybe their real parents out somewhere else somewhere. And sometimes you can make very easy plot points, insert plot points from there, and then you just keep going. But also, depending on your wheelhouse or genre, it's possible that more characters could end up dead. Again, I'll use Uplift Protocol as an example. You know for sure, based on how I write and everything else, a whole metric fracton of the bad guys are going to be dead by the end of the series. It doesn't mean that nobody can get invested in what they're doing, but they really are, in basic layman's terms, they're there to poke certain elements of the plot because the heroes are still in reactive mode in some cases, but once book 12 rolls around, you'll realize that the heroes, in particular a handful of them, were already extremely proactive even before the main series started. It's just different elements in case you want to put things together, So, yeah, depending on your setting, if you have a more gritty setting, there's a likely chance that you'll have more characters that are dead at the beginning, and the character can reminisce, about them through their backstory or something. A quick example with SG-1, his son was dead at the beginning of the series. It even happened in the movie. The kid shot himself with Jack's own gun, and you still get a few callbacks to that event in the main series ever so often, and it does galvanize his interactions with certain types of characters further along the line in the series. Same could be said for Daniel Jackson. His wife died to further certain plot points, but it's not like it's all been one-sided. Even on Carter's end, she's had male characters die to further her plot points forward. But it's also, Stargate SG-1 isn't as utopic as, say, what I want to do with Uplift Protocol. And utopic in the sense that, yes, more of the good guys will come out on the other side more often than not. It's just what I want to do as a writer. It's pretty straightforward. And, yeah, you can also have some subversive stuff where people die. And in general, sometimes the Paragon slot works for that. In the case of SG-1, Braytark is kind of like a Paragon because he's a very old Jaffa that was training other Jaffa to go against their false gods in the Goa'uld. So, and again, I just use some more mainstream stuff just so I can get my point across a little bit clearer. That's about it. But even though I still like some mainstream stuff, I will not watch their skin suits. So that's pretty much going to cover the gamut for everybody, I think. Have a good day, everybody.